This is DJ the Money Coach, back on the Classic Climb for a Black Friday special. That's right. I'm going to give you an exclusive master class that will show you how to earn $8,333 a month in passive income. I'm going to teach you how to acquire residential property, multi-units, invest in luxury resorts, and acquire other businesses with other people's money. I'll show you how to go from zero to $100,000 in interest-free business credit for a Black Friday special, an exclusive one-on-one training with me and our master class, one time only, for less than $100 bill. That's right. Hit that link. I'll see you in the Black Friday special master class.
Hello, everyone. We are live. Welcoming DJ. Talk to some DJ on a special Friday.
How's everybody doing tonight? Every day above ground with your health is a great day. And we have an amazing show for you today, Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach. Today is Recession Proof Your Business with Elite Online Publishing. We have a special guest that we're going to blow your mind with an amazing, successful entrepreneur that's going to add tremendous value in this recession and show you how to leverage, brand publishing. And she's also a real estate successful entrepreneur as well. But before we bring her on, we just want to, find out how everybody's feeling out there. Let us know where you're from in the chat. Make sure you subscribe, share, and spread the gospel. Because if you want to have the pom-pom lifestyle, which is plenty of money, peace of mind, you got to be consumer debt free. You got to, build assets, hard assets in a recession, our real estate, business, dividends, multi-units, resorts, all of those great things that they didn't teach you in your college education. So we're going to jump right in here and want to introduce this amazing special guest because she's given us her time tonight, and we want to make sure that we honor her time and get the party started, what we call with the 4 P's. Number 1, professionalism. Number 2, persistence. Number 3, perseverance. And number 4 is actually perform. So we're all about performing tonight. So Tajir, if you can cue up that amazing introductory spot to actually tell our audience a little bit about this amazing, person and her amazing company called Elite Online Publishing.
Got it right now.
Man, I'm telling you. Now, let me tell you a little bit about our special guest. Our special guest is Melanie Johnson. She's the CEO and owner of Elite Online Publishing. She is a bestseller with the Wall Street Journal. Melanie Johnson is a powerhouse media mogul and entrepreneur. She is the owner and founder of Elite Online Publishing, which has published over 3,000 books, making all of its authors #1 bestsellers. Melanie got her start in the industry by owning and operating 2 successful TV stations in Houston and Dallas that grew to be worth over $100 million. Melanie is also, again, a Wall Street Journal and USA Today 16 best author, selling author, and a TEDx speaker. So we're really bringing you a major powerhouse tonight. Melanie is also the host of the popular podcast Elite Expert Insider. She started her career as a news anchor in Detroit, Michigan, and she won the elite title of Miss Michigan and was the first runner-up to Miss America in her professional life. Melanie has been involved in many high-profile projects. She built the 25,000 square foot Houston mansion and the 13,000 square foot Walloon Lake House, both of which became successful 6-figure short-term rentals. She also started a charity auction consignment organization, which helped charities raise over $600,000. And last but not least, Melanie is the graduate from Michigan State University with a degree in communications and was the first girl to receive a varsity letter in the boys' sport in the state of Michigan. And as a single mom raising two sons, she knows what it takes to succeed. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce to you our special guest, Melanie Johnson, the CEO and founder of Elite Online Publishing. Melanie, thank you very much for coming out on Friday.
Hey, DJ, it is my pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much for including me. I'm just honored to be here. I'm honored to serve your community, and just a blessing. And let's celebrate. It's Friday. Let's learn and grow and kick it out for the weekend.
I tell you, I believe that 100%. So, it's always great to come together with successful entrepreneurs, because a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they really don't know what it requires to sustain a successful entrepreneurship. And that's one of the great things that you have accomplished over your successful career. And one day I hope, Melanie, to be able to speak on TEDx as well. So I'm looking to learn about that experience. I'm looking to hear a little bit more about how did you start getting into the entrepreneurship, way of life. Can you like to start off and answer a couple of those little quick questions for us and share your story with our audience for us? Because I probably didn't do a good job telling it in the first place.
I think you did a great job. I was like, dang, I'm even impressed with myself after you read that introduction. I forgot I did all those things. So, I think entrepreneurship is kind of in your blood. I started out of college and I was really self-employed. I was a commercial actress and model and spokesperson. So really I was trying to get gigs all the time doing that. Did children's shows, all that kind of thing. Then I decided I really need to get serious, want to go into television or radio broadcasting. Got my first job as a television anchor in Detroit. So I was an employee then, right? But they still 1099 me because they said, we can't have you full time. We're just going to have you pop in and do all these news inserts for us. So I was an independent contractor. Then I got a job in the PR department. Then I got a job doing production. So I learned a lot of the back end of TV. And then my fiance and former husband, we had filed for a TV station in Houston, Texas. And that was really my deep dive into entrepreneurship. And talk about a deep dive. You're starting a TV station from scratch. Everybody in today's day and age is like, we just turned this on and became a TV station right here. Well, before there were only like 5 or 6 TV stations, and then you had cable that maybe had 30 stations. There wasn't a whole lot of competition in the marketplace. So we had to get a tower, we had to get an antenna, we had to get a transmitter, we had to build out a whole TV studio. And it was quite an undertaking. So we built all that. We ended up with the contracts from the Houston Rockets and the Houston Astros were on our air. We did all news for a while, syndicated programming, then bought another TV station in Dallas. And so then when I transitioned, I thought, I don't really want to stay in TV. And this was like 2008, 2009, thinking, I don't know, YouTube's out, internet's out. I want to do something on the internet. I think TV is going to be dying and the internet's going to be growing, which you can see today. My kids never watch live TV, ever. Even for the Super Bowl, it's hard to get them to sit down and watch that. So through my journey of learning how to do internet marketing and wanted to have my own website of doing TV programming and things like that, I was going to these conferences and met similar people. I saw some of the same people all the time when I went to these conferences. And one of the things I learned was how to publish a book. And then from publishing a book, one of the ladies there, Jen Foster, her and I decided to do a book writing retreat at my villa down in the Dominican Republic. So we did that. We came back, published the books. They became #1 bestsellers. Next thing I knew, my phone was ringing saying, I didn't know you publish books. Can you have lunch with me? Can you have breakfast with me? I need to talk to you about this. I have a book. And I didn't realize like 85% of the people say they have a book in them. And only like a very small, like 5% ever publish their book. So really, it's a burning desire. I'm here to help make it easier for people to see that dream come true, but also to show them with your format involved is like how to make that reoccurring revenue, how to make it work for your business, how to make the SEO work for you all the time. There's so many things that when you become an author, all of a sudden, guess what? Amazon's working you for free for the rest of your life. So I think you have to have that grind to want to work for yourself. When I had to pivot from television, first I got into real estate. I turned my houses into Airbnbs, which Airbnb didn't exist when I did it. VRBO just came out and everyone's like,
right.
So I even did parties. I did photography events. I did all kinds of stuff. I had a 25,000 square foot house here in Houston, and then I had a 13,000 square foot house in Michigan, which I built both of them and was the decorator for both, all of that kind of stuff. So, but I think you have to learn to pivot. The market took a turn in 2008. Everything was shifting, but my Airbnb really did great. Is when I started, it was in 2009 and had it all the way through 2013 until both houses were sold. But and then I was developing real estate. Then I was tearing down houses, old houses in Houston, and then would put new townhouses up. And oil was thriving, but then the oil market tanked, and so I backed out of all that. And then publishing was kind of my side hustle, which became my main hustle. So it's been my main hustle for the last 7 years. But I think you have to be versatile. You have to do what you're saying is set up those different revenue streams, have those different buckets so they're all working for you, because the economy goes up and down in each industry. So then you're protected. You're so smart to teach everyone to do that.
And you said amazing mouthful of incredible things in a short period of time. But like you said, Melanie, it's got to be innate to be a successful entrepreneur. And I think that's one of the hardest things that people don't understand. I tell them being an entrepreneur, Melanie, is the best game in town, but it's actually the hardest game in town as well. Because if you don't have a system, you basically are going to be going up and down like a seesaw most of the time. And I would be encouraged to understand, as a woman, as an entrepreneur, what are some of the things, specifically in the real estate business? We're going to talk about the publishing business, but you've been very successful in the real estate business. Like you said, you are the precursor to Airbnb. And I remember, BLB, because I used to rent through that capacity. How did you find your niche and find stability in that market as a woman?
Wow, and I don't even know if it was because I was a woman or a man. I think that I was brought up by my dad that I could do anything. I had two older brothers, and when my two brothers got motorcycles, they were 5 and 7 years older than me. He was like, "Well, she can't be left out. I'm getting her a mini bike." So I was right in there. I was always want to be right behind them. And so to me, there was never any difference. And I was shocked if I ever heard that there was a difference. I think finding my niche is, I realized I started with the house up in Michigan because that was in a resort community and they were doing some rentals, but it was always through realtors. Nobody was doing it through VRBO. So I did put a listing on VRBO. My house was unique because it could sleep 32 people in beds. So it was a different market. All the realtors told me, it's too much money. You're never going to rent it for that much money. The most expensive house at the time was $7,200 a week, but it was, it was less than half the size of mine. It was a quarter maybe of the size of mine. So I wanted to charge $10,000. So I did that, but through my education, see, it all comes down to knowledge and utilizing the knowledge. I created a website for the house, Wallen Lake House. So people were finding me from my website and from VRBO. I booked that entire summer except for one week a realtor got for me, and I booked all 12 weeks myself, fully booked. And then, I had advice from certain people, and a woman up in northern Michigan told me, what you should do is because the house is so big and it really had like 2 master suites. She said, you should pull the master suite out and charge extra for that. Figure out what else you can do and upcharge the sale. So maybe your base is 10, but then if you want the master, it's an extra $1,200 or $2,000 for the week. So I started doing that. And then as the summers went, I increased my price. By the time I was done, I was getting $16,000 a week for 12 weeks, not to mention the off season, I was still getting bookings. But then when I first got it, I thought, I wonder what's going on in Houston. Is there anything big for rent in Houston? And VRBO only had really apartments. So I was the only big house. So then I created the website, HoustonMansion.com. And, people rented it, but then I had an inquiry for a wedding. And I said, sure, I could do a wedding. I could get a lot of money for one night. And the other part of my house, I had it designed so it was all private. My kids could be upstairs. I had a service kitchen on next to my kitchen. And so I started booking parties. And then the photographer said, hey, can I come and do a photo shoot? So I would charge for a photo shoot. That was the easiest money I ever made. I said, it's $250 an hour, 2 hours minimum. I said, you come in, I would greet them at the door. I showed them the area of the house they could take pictures in. I had a room that the brides could change in. They were there for 2 hours. I would check on them midway. I'd be on my computer in the other room working away. Midway, I'd go and say, hey, how's everything going? Do you have any questions? No, we're great. Oh, this is beautiful. They would leave and they'd pay me before they even walked in the door. They had to pay me. So, you just got to think of new, different ways to be outside the box to make money.
Man, the first thing I heard, Melanie, is that your father infused you with supreme confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that probably is the number one asset that people have to have outside of skill and talent. I always tell my children, I have 4 children myself, and I tell them, hey, if you got to have one thing, you got to have supreme confidence in yourself. Mm-hmm. And that way you can accomplish anything. I'll take a person with supreme confidence, Melanie, over a well-skilled person any day of the week.
Yeah.
They can overcome situations we're in right now, like this recession. Most people become paralyzed because they only know what they've been taught, but that supreme confidence gives you the ability to pivot and to know that there's other avenues, and one door closes, a bigger one opens up for you. So I can definitely relate to the energy and the enthusiasm that you bring to the table in mastering the real estate, industry. And basically you created a niche inside of it by customizing your home and adding another value that created an upsell profit margins, which is exceptional. And that's something that we need to teach our people on, family finances with DJ the Money Coach. What I would like to also know, I'm very familiar with the Detroit market myself. I actually own multiple real estate properties in Detroit, and I have family members that have been in Detroit for over 40 years. What made you gravitate and migrate down to Houston? What drew you to Houston?
Well, it was really the TV station. So we had an option on 3 different markets to build a station for the license, because the license has to be approved by the FCC. It's a lot of work and a long, long process. So we really felt that the Houston market was the most growing market. So this was back in 1990, 91, 92. The station opened its doors went on the air in 93. And, Houston was just made for wildcatters, like for wildcat oil, and they're just open to entrepreneurs. It was a fast growing city versus the other cities. And honestly, I thought I would never leave my family, because I still have all my families in Michigan. Thought I would never leave Michigan. And then here I was married for like less than a year, and we were moving to Texas. I'm like, Texas, oh my gosh. So, and the plan was to stay here for 5 years and sell the station, which it didn't work out that way. I just never left. And you know what they say, the difference is between a Yankee and a damn Yankee. The damn Yankee stays. So I Yankee.
I love that. When I first came down to Houston and somebody called me a Yankee, it kind of caught me off guard. It was like, a Yankee? How'd you know I was a Yankee fan? It was like, no, that's not what we're talking about, young lad.
You're from the north. You're coming down here in the south. And I want to say too, when you talk about those doors opening and closing, I had some significant doors that closed during these transition times between the TV stations and finding something else. And I used to say, when one door closes, another one opens. It's just those dang hallways. So if you have the fortitude to get through the hallway, man, you're okay.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, we want to transition into what you're doing now that you actually have mastered again, and what successful entrepreneurs do. I tell them, if you're a CEO, once you get to the CEO suite and you master that, you can actually be a CEO in any industry, because it's a certain set of soft skills and technical skills that CEOs have that enable them to do business across all platforms and all industries. So we're going to come back real quickly with a quick break, Melanie, and then we're going to dive in deeply into how Elite Online Publishing was created and how you can help our people become recession-proof with branding through publishing online. And we'll be right back after this message, and we appreciate you guys coming back. You're watching DJ the Money Coach Family Finance Friday with our special guest, Melanie Johnson of Elite Online Publishing. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds. Thank you.
The bestseller list is the holy grail for authors. Getting your book onto that list can mean huge sales and huge boost to your career. But how do you get there? The answer is marketing, and the best place to start is with the Bestseller Solutions digital training course. This course will teach you everything you need to know about marketing your book to bestseller status on Amazon. You'll learn how to choose the right categories and keywords, how to price your book for maximum impact, and how to create an executive launch strategy. You'll also get access to exclusive resources like a list of where to speak on stages in your genre, and advice from successful authors who have been there before. If you're serious about making your book a bestseller, the Bestseller Solutions digital training course is essential. Invest in your success today and see the rewards tomorrow.
All right.
So we're back.
We're
So that
back.
was one of the power spots, if I'm not mistaken. I think that comes from your uh, business, which is
Yes.
exceptional. So what we want to do is now. So how did you make the transition into the publishing business, and then most importantly, Melanie, how did you create the niche that you have? And the reason why I ask you that is because when I sit down with professionals and I sit down with entrepreneurs, first thing I have them do is actually read the chapter called The Hedgehog Concept from Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Mhm.
And actually, I was fortunate to meet Jim Collins a couple of times. And the reason why I do that is because in the hedgehog concept, Melanie, it talks about number one, it's like a three-legged stool. It says, what is
Yeah.
your passion or your high-level skill set?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is, what is your actual niche that you can actually make significant amounts of money, because journalists don't generally make very high incomes. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third thing is, what is the economic engine or bus that puts you in front of people so you can identify your expertise? So I would like to know, what was your hedgehog concept that created Elite Online Publishing?
Yeah, I want to say it was accidental. So the passion part, I love helping people. I love marketing. I love storytelling. But like I said, we did this book writing retreat and it just turned into a business. We thought we would do it one time a year. And the next thing I knew, we had clients. So like you said, the first thing we did was make an LLC. So what do you do when you start a business? You got to make an LLC. And then you're trying to say, well, is this going to be a full-time business? How can I make this a 7-figure business? And then you're turning it around. I say it's like a Rubik's Cube. I think that's what I'm best at, is keep turning it and keep turning it to find that formula that you hit your niche market, that you get the packages and proposals and the target market, the people that you really want to reach, that you can help the most. And it takes a while. Your business doesn't just get known overnight. It's very rare that you just blow up right away. So, I think those elements all have to be in line, and you have to really like what you do and be passionate about it. My family's in the insurance business. So my dad started an insurance business when I was just born, and my brothers and his sons are in it now. But I say, hey, nobody gets excited when they say, hey, I got your auto insurance. But when someone holds their best-selling book in their hand, they are thrilled. They're like, oh man, I can't believe I did it. And it's a bestseller, and they're holding their book. It's just a thrill. So, and I'm thrilled for them. And I know by their words and their expertise getting out into public that they're not only changing their lives, but they're changing other people's lives. Just like your book is changing other people's lives. Every time it gets into someone's hands, you're changing the trajectory of their life. So that's what makes me really fulfilled and want to wake up each morning and get excited to do it, because I know I'm leaving this big imprint for people and doing it the right way versus our competition.
So how did you meet your partner, Jen? I mean, I actually listened to 3 of your podcasts this week. Listened to the one with the gentleman, Miles G, I think was his name. He created the Rapunzel app. And then I listened to the one recently with the lady that actually just started her storytelling business as well, that I found that they were both amazing stories. And then how did you and Jen intersect in this, create this awesome podcast that you guys have?
So we got connected. We were going to these conferences by Mike Koenig's, and there we all learned how to publish and do a lot of new internet marketing. And so we were both single at the time, and it was the first summer neither of us were going to have our kids. So she had heard me talk about this villa that I had down in the Dominican Republic that I was trying to monetize. And she came up to me and said, hey, you know what? We should go to your villa. We don't have kids. We should go down there, but we should make money. if we're going to go. So I was like, all right, I'm in. So what should we do? So we came up with the idea of doing this book writing retreat. And Jen's background is website design. She created a website on the breaks. We did videos on the breaks. We created the logo, created a Facebook page, started posting everything in their graphics, made the offer, had the landing page, all on the breaks of the conference. So that was in end of March. And then we had it sold and we did the conference in writing retreat in June. And it's funny because we only did one of those. And everyone says, are you still doing those retreats? But we only did one. So anyways, I think we came back, and we launched the books. They became bestsellers and people started contacting us and saying they wanted to work with us. Can you help me with my book? Can you help me publish my book? So we decided to start helping people. And then we decided, hey, I think we've got something here. Let's go in business together and create an LLC. And I kept telling her, listen, this is my side hustle. Real estate is my full-time thing right now. But like I said, the market changed. And so, and the partners I had weren't really great. I would say that kind of reflects to the question you had about being women in this market. I would say in the building business, it's really a good old boys business. It's hard to find people that you can trust that won't take advantage of you. So you really do have to be careful. So then I backed off of that and then just started publishing full time. And the journey of learning and learning more about marketing all the time, because it's constantly changing, has just fascinated me. And I just love that. And I think that's one of the things we're really excellent at, is we're innovative and fast on our toes about incorporating all the new marketing and innovative things into things that our authors can use for their books and their business.
You know what? You said 3 key things that I think a lot of people miss the boat on, Melanie. Is number 1, you use speed. Number 2, availability. And number 3, you basically act it now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, the professionals who have formal degrees and postgraduate degrees, they're taught to overanalyze things, thus they miss opportunities, so they cannot make that pivot in a recession. So listening to that and having the ability to actually find the right partners and then become a master at a niche in publishing, because publishing has been around since the beginning of time. So
exactly. That's why it's like a tried true thing to invest in, right?
Exactly. So now that you created this niche model to guarantee people #1 bestseller on Amazon, tell us how that works and why would I not want to get involved to get my book #1 on Amazon? Because when we first met and you asked me, why aren't you on Amazon? I said, well, what I know about Amazon, they take 30% of my proceeds and I could do it on tour and I could sell 1,000 of my books because I make it all myself through self-publishing. And then you said, no, they actually don't take 30%. So you open up my eyes. I'm like, I got to do this with you, Melanie. So tell the people how that works.
Well, first of all, when you're on Amazon, all of a sudden Amazon is now working for you as an SEO. When I search our authors' names, their Amazon profile comes up on the first page. And I don't know if I can share my screen or not, but
yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Where do I do that at? Present? Do I hit present?
Yes, right at present.
Okay. I am going to do that.
Help our people out. That's what we're talking about. Recession proof with elite online publishing.
Let me get over here
to exciting.
Yes. I want to show you. All right, let me I'm gonna have to bounce around here. It's gonna get ugly before it gets pretty, okay?
Our people are used to that.
Yeah. Okay, so I just hit present, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then mirror my camera? No.
Present, share screen.
Present, share. Oh, there we go. I hit the wrong one. I hit settings. Okay. Open system, yeah? Okay, I think we got it. Yeah? Is that right? It doesn't look like it. One more time. Share screen.
Yep, present, share screen. Then it shows you some screen sharing tips. Then you hit share screen again. Then it tells you if you want to do your entire screen, a window, or just the Chrome tab.
Yeah, I got entire screen. And then it lets me say cancel or...
You want to do entire screen?
I can't, yeah.
Okay, so click on it and then hit share.
The share's not highlighting. Let me hit Chrome tab and see if that... There we go. Let's see. Let's see if that works. There we go. Okay. So this is one of our authors, Donna Peters. Okay. So when you go here, right, or I can go down here, and this gives her an Amazon author page. Now, what's cool about this is you can have 8 videos and 8 photos here, but you can have your blog post or podcast feed here. So it's updating constantly. And Amazon loves this. The algorithms keep clicking in. So think about someone could go here and they can see everything about you. They've got your profile right here. We put all of your links here. And then I'm going to go over here to this page. So this is Donna Peters when I Google her. And guess what? Right here, Donna Peters.
Wow.
Oops. Sorry, let me go back. I hit the wrong link right here. Donna Peters, it goes right to this. With all this, you can have a testimonial, someone saying how great you are. You can have teaching here. You can sell a course here. You can do all kinds, anything you want here. It's like having another website is what you can do. So think about how powerful that is.
Yeah, that part was what blew me away, because that's not what I was introduced to Amazon and putting my book on, like, 5-6 years ago. This is totally revolutionary.
I can stop sharing. Do you want me to stop sharing now? How do I do that?
I got it. I can.
Okay. So the other thing is that I told DJ is that, listen, you're selling to these small groups. It's almost like, you're a mom and pop store. And remember during the pandemic, they're like, I don't need to sell stuff online. I got my store. Well, then your store got shut down. But when you're online, you now have a global market. Wouldn't you like to have a global marketplace to sell your stuff? I would.
Absolutely.
So, geez, you're going to get a smaller percent, but you're going to get a global market, and people are going to know who you are globally. That's the cheapest advertising you will ever get. Oh, and on top of it, they're buying your book. They're reading about you. They're going to get to know, like, and trust you, that they're going to want to hire you for whatever you're selling in your book and whatever you're talking about. So it's just a huge difference. All of our authors, we like to make them international bestsellers. So we did a launch last week. They were bestseller 14 categories in 3 countries. So just think about that exposure that you're getting right when your book launches. And you get that title next to your name all the time, right? And I'm not going to, I don't want to be, disrespect DJ, but it's like, you print your books, but you're not published. So you're really not a published author.
Right.
You're just printing an author. And there's a difference to that.
Absolutely.
When you're published and when you're everywhere, and I can go to Walmart and find DJ's book, I can go to Target and his book comes up. That's powerful. I just think that has a whole nother cachet to it. And I tell authors, when you get that title, especially if you do our program for Wall Street Journal, USA Today, then you can raise your prices. I mean, all of a sudden you have this other title that all these other people say, hey, this guy's content is worthwhile. We respect him. We give him credibility. He's got authority. Not to mention, you're putting all of your content together in one place. So now I bet, DJ, you use your books. You can pull social media quotes out of there. You can send different links there all the time. So there's we have a book of 25 different ways that you can use your book to monetize it. Think about it. I have this one great story. Guy sent a book to a potential client. The book sat on his nightstand for a year, just sat there, looked at it every night. And finally, the guy called the author up and said, you know what? I've been staring at your book for a year. I'm just going to hire you. I didn't read your book, but I'm just going to hire you. So I said, the only marketing tool that people take to bed with them, think about it. And people never throw a book away.
I love that. What you just taught me is what I explain to people, Melanie, is that you actually are a publisher and you actually own all the copyrights, the royalties, and everything. Is another thing, as I was reading on your website, you don't give that up, which typically authors do, and they don't even understand that they're arbitrarily giving that up when they go with the traditional publishing house, mechanism. And I was trying to tell people there's an example that unfortunately what happened to Ye and Kyrie. I said they don't own distribution channels and they don't manufacture anything. They just, in theory, have licensing and vendor contracts, but they really don't own anything. So for you to open my eyes on, you know what? I'm not a publisher, but with you, I would be a publisher, and I never have to worry about copyrights. I would never have to worry about control of my royalties, which is where you're going to create your residual income for, multi-generations. So talk to our people right now who have an idea in their head that can be transformed into a book. And what's the scalability time frame? Is it 0 to 30 days? 0 to 60 days, a quarter, that they can expect to be successful with the idea through the publishing with Elite Online Publishing?
So I'm going to kind of address the publishing thing about the intellectual property. We get people every week that come to us, even if they're not with a traditional publisher, they're with publishers like us. but they have stolen their intellectual property in a way. I've had 3 authors in the last week that their publishers went out of business. And because the publishers published under the publishing company's account, it'd be like Adidas, like with Ye, right?
Mm-hmm.
They own everything. They are locked out of their books. They never got the files to the book. They never got the cover files. Their books are out of print. They're not selling anymore. And basically, it's like they don't have a book at all and they don't know what to do. So the reverse is happening with us, that all the accounts are set up in your personal name. The royalties go directly to you and to your bank account. We're not the middle person at all. We give you a thumb drive at the end of the process with all of your interior files, your cover, every single thing we've created for you, you get and you have, right? And you control it 100%. So that's very important when you're looking for a publisher. So the other thing is, so how long does it take? So it just depends on the process that you use. We have authors that have just an idea. They've been having this idea roll around in their head for even years. Man, I want to write a book. I don't know if I should talk about myself. I got this really compelling personal story, but then I also have this business expertise and I'm not sure, what I should do. So we kind of like to combine those 2 stories, right? You can tell your business expertise, but use your personal stories and your background to illustrate those expertise and give some background on yourself in there. So when you do a VIP day, book creation day with us, it's a whole 1-day process. It's 6-7 hours. And at the end of the day, you have about a third of your book written and the chapters all laid out, your target market identified, and you've got like 10,000 words written. And then you're filling in the rest, where you can work with a ghostwriter or you can work with a book coach to fill in the rest or do it on your own. That's one way to do it. That takes about 6 months. Donna Peters, who I showed you, she went through that process. And her book from day 1 to the end was about 6 months because she followed our process to a T. Another way is to work with editors, work with ghostwriters separately. But I'm going to give you a great way to start your book right now tonight, because I want to give huge value for you. So we call it the 10 by 10 by 3. So what does that mean? So in your business or your expertise or in your life, you're getting 10 frequently asked questions, maybe even more. What is something that someone asks you all the time about your business? I mean, DJ, maybe, how did you start in real estate? How did you make money? What should I do to set up my business? I mean, if I challenge all of you to just set a timer for 2 minutes, I bet you could get at least 10 frequently asked questions written down. So you can invest 2 minutes, right? That doesn't take long at all.
Absolutely.
And so not only can that be used for your book, it can be used on a website, could be used for social media posts, could be used for live streams of asking these questions. So it's a great exercise. But then when you answer those questions, I want you to come up with 1 to 3 stories that illustrate it. That, I always equate it to, like, if you've been to church in your life and the pastor starts with a scripture, but then he tells you a story, maybe about himself, something that happened with his kids that day, or maybe about someone that he knew at the church, or maybe it's about a famous person, that he tells you a story that illustrates it to bring the point home. So it can be a story about you, someone you know, could be a friend, could be even someone who's famous, that illustrates that point. If you can come up with 1 to 3 stories to fit into the answer to that question, so you answer it, you tell the story, then reiterate how maybe they can transfer and use this for their own life. Then there is the 10 should ask questions. So DJ, I bet you say, man, you're asking me how I got started in real estate. How many doors should I buy for my first project? This is what you should be asking me, is maybe like, how do I find a good management company before I start the project, right? So you're like, dang, you're asking me questions, but these aren't the should ask questions. So we want you to come up with questions that you think that they should be asking you, that they don't really ask you, that are really like the behind the scenes kind of questions because you're the expert. And then follow that same program. Come up with 1 to 3 stories for the answers to that. So guess what? Now you've got all these chapters to your book already started just by doing that.
Wow.
And then on top of it, I mean, my son always tells me, don't tell him that you're not a writer. I'm not a good writer. I'm always been a terrible speller. I just, writing is like, it's so hard. But a lot of people are talkers. I could talk. You could ask me the questions, man. I could talk and go on and give you all the details. Because when I write, I feel like I want to rewrite the same sentence or paragraph over and over again. So there's a tool that we use called Otter, Otter. It's, you can get it online. It's an app. You can put it on your computer. And what that does is it records a conversation and it transcribes it in real time. So you could be having a conversation with DJ. Like we could take this whole interview right now. I
Turn
could
it
have
into a book.
transcribed and turn it into a book. And we've done that. We have a book called Podcast Authorized that we did a webinar with, and we turned it into a book.
I love it. You just gave away one of my secrets because I have 7 digital books, Melanie, and that actually happened where I actually did a speech at a credit union, and then I did a speech at the Houston Federal Reserve, and I had 2 VAs back in 2017. They said, "Hey, we can turn these into digital books." I said, "How you gonna do that?" And lo and behold, they kicked out 7 digital books that we've been making residual income for the last 8 years. So I didn't know that was a service based on how they did it, but I've experienced it, so that makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
these things aren't common sense, but they're common knowledge for an entrepreneur. So in that regard, what's the capability for a person to actually get this idea out of themselves? Because you have a exercise in addition with that tool Otter that you can actually release that writer's block, which a lot of times happen. When I wrote my first book, I'll be honest, I locked myself in my office and nothing came out of me for like 4 or 5 days. But at the time, like you, my ex-wife was like, "You better get something out because you're going to these expos, you're doing these great speeches, and the guys that got the books making the most money, we can't afford that no more." So what triggers that, Melanie?
Well, I try and do things the easy way versus the hard way, which is, like I say, if you can talk the book, have someone, your friend, buddy, ask you questions, that'll get it going faster. And caffeine is always a good friend too to get things.
I love it.
Yeah. But, I think there's a variety of different ways. One of the, we worked with the president of the NFL team, the Houston Texans, and he'd been thinking about a book for 10 years, been rolling around in his head. And so when we start with an author, we ask about what are your assets that you already have? Do you have blog posts, newsletters, speeches? It's like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "I have probably 100 different speeches, different, not even the same speech, different speeches that I've given over the years. And I have them all." We're like, "Oh my gosh, you got the book is right there. We just need to start going through all of that." So take an inventory of everything you've already created. We love to repurpose content. So when you're repurposing the content, you can always add to it. It's easier to add to something versus sometimes starting from scratch. And I always tell people, if you're toying between that life story, which life stories are great. We do memoirs all the time for people. But if you're a business person, which your audience, I believe, are mostly business people, we always say do the money book first. You need to do the money book. And people are still, "I just don't know where to start." Well, do you have a brochure for your business? Do you have a website for your business? There's tons of information there. So it's just taking one of those things and then start telling some more stories about it and going deeper on it. You'd be amazed when you have these triggers. Like someone asked me the other day for a quote, and I'm like, "A quote? Oh my gosh." I just went brain dead. But if you have different triggers or you're looking at something, then it's going to bring these things up and make it easier for you to write.
Man, that makes sense. There's always a saying, as you have the expertise, a lot of times we say we forgot more than most people know that are young, but that trigger and the right question actually opens up the door for you just to be just blurring out all kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you have to find the right time of day for you. Some people are morning people, some people are at night people. It's great to have a time where you block it off. My trick is that, I did this today. I set my timer for 45 minutes and I'm like, I'm just going to write this out. And when it goes done, then I'm done. But I blocked that time off that I could really focus. And I told everyone in the house, "Don't talk to me. I got 45 minutes. I'm in my zone." So, find your zone. If it's early in the morning when the house is quiet, if it's at the end of the day, if it's in the middle of the night, if it's in the middle of the afternoon, everyone has a certain energy level. So find that time for you that you think works best, that you can be the most productive.
That leans into the 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. He talks about what are the premium times for you. Me, I'm a night person. So at night when nobody's around, I'm getting most of my creativity and I'm able to put it on paper and create ideas just like that. But don't mess with me in the morning. I tell my people, Tajir tell you, I say, unless your house is on fire, somebody died, do not call me before 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But if you call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm likely to take your phone call.
I'm going to put that down in my notes for you. I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you know what? We're having such a great time. We're going to take another quick break, Melanie, and we're going to run a couple of spots talking more about elite online publishing. And then we're going to talk about how we can create some residual income, people, to offset this recession that we're in right now. So we'll be right back after a couple of spots from our sponsors. And again, you're watching DJ the Money Coach Family Finance Friday with our special guest, Melanie Johnson, CEO and founder of Elite Online Publishing. We'll be right back in a few seconds. Thank you. All right. Welcome back. You're watching Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach. And tonight's topic is Recession Proof Your Business with Elite Online Publishing and our amazing special guest, Miss Melanie Johnson. So, Melanie, so let's dive right in. Let's teach some of these people how to actually recession proof themselves through, online publishing, and even talk about, real estate as well, because
Sure.
that's one of the things we talk about is cash flow beats net worth any day of the week. And I think a lot of people don't understand that in a recession, when interest rates are high and hyperinflation, direct correlation is rents go up directly as inflation and mortgage rates do. And that's when you make a lot of money in passive income, which you've mastered, I've mastered, and a lot of people that work with us have mastered. So give us some tips of how we can actually offset this recession as a novice or a professional that may have a six-figure income, but they don't have any actual passive income, and they are looking for some rays of hope right now.
All right. So when you publish a book, it stays there forever, right? So the royalties are coming forever. It's passive income, but you still need to promote it. If you just want Amazon to do everything, it's not going to be that much, right? So you still got to put it on your social media. You still need to talk about it. You still need to give it away. So you got to work a little bit for it. But when you're doing that work, it's also working for you for your business. I always say it's the best marketing tool that you'll ever create for your company because it does so many different things for you. But what I love is that your book outlives you. So your book is going to stay there. Your kids are going to get the royalties from the book. I mean, how cool is that? It stays there forever and ever and ever, which I just think is there's not many things that do that create income. You can have a YouTube video, but it's not going to create money for you forever and ever and ever, right? And it gets lost in that feed. So that's the number one thing. The other way it really creates revenue for you, I always tell people, don't get tied up in the $2.50 royalty. I really want you to use your book for your business. And I know that you've done that, DJ. You've really been a master at using that book for that business and opening up doors. Because I'll ask people, well, what's a client worth to you? Some people tell me it's $5,000. Some people tell me it's worth $50,000. Well, if you got your books into the right hands of somebody and it opened a $50,000 deal for you or a $5,000 deal for you, and what's the lifetime value of that client by using your book? It's just a big, big, big thing to open big ticket items. So we just had a call with Dre Evans. His book is coming out, coming up. We're doing a Wall Street Journal launch for him in December. And I'm real excited about his book, but we just did a marketing roadmap for him. And his is like, okay, how can you sell your book for bulk buys, right? So that means people that are going to buy 100 to 3,000 books at one time.
Wow.
You know, so that's a whole nother way that you can make revenue. So like your book would be good for financial institutions. It would be good for banks. It would be good for a lot of different places that they can use their book where you can do a custom edition of it and put their company logo on it, have the president of their company do a foreword in the book for you, and they can buy it for all of their clients. Or you may have an inspirational book, motivational book, or something that would work for a business that would be great for all their employees. So there's just a variety of ways that you can do that. We say, you know, the foot in the door is if do you have a client that you've been trying to get to and that gatekeeper just does not get you through. They don't answer your emails. You can't get through. You got nothing. But if you send a package to them, you know, the gatekeeper is not going to open the package. They don't know what's in there, especially if it comes from Amazon, right? They don't know what's in there. So they're going to put it right on their desk. They're going to open that book. There's even a gift receipt you can put in from Amazon with a short note on it. And you tell them, hey, look at page 52. I think there's something that really could change your business. You know, they're going to look at page 52.
Automatically.
Yeah. What do you mean? So they're going to look at that and, you know, they're not going to throw it away. It's going to sit on their desk. I always say that you should really send 3 books because if you send 3 books, you say, still with that note, look at page 52, but I would love for you to give 2 of these books to 2 other people in your company and see what they think about it.
Wow. I love that.
Then if you're going to go full baller, this is what you do. Let's say they have a marketing team and you want to get something into their marketing team because you know you can help this company with their marketing. You send a case of books and you send one to everybody on the marketing team. How powerful do you think it would be to walk in an office and every person in that department has your book in their hands and on their desk? Do you think they're going to be talking about you that day?
Oh my goodness. You just gave me a couple of ideas. So I think when we talk, we're going to be great friends, Melanie. We're going to be great friends.
And if it says international #1 bestseller on it, credibility right from the top. Right? It says it right there on the book.
Absolutely. And like I said, one thing I love about entrepreneurs, we're not afraid to try things right away, that speed. I tell people, Melanie, that what separates an amateur from a professional as an entrepreneur, speed, availability, do it now. Those 3 things right there, because I don't care about the failure. I care about what if this idea actually resonates and I miss the opportunity.
All right. Now I want to say I love all that. And it is speed to market. So I want to talk about the investment to send that. Say you're going to send 100 books.
Mm-hmm.
So each book costs you with shipping for about a book your size, say 150, 200 pages with shipping, say $5 a book most. Mm-hmm. Like it's $2.50 a book plus the shipping, blah, blah, blah. $500. What other advertising could you target that much and get that kind of impact for $500?
Yeah, I don't know of one.
And it won't go in the trash can and it won't get deleted out of their inbox. There's nothing.
Man. And if I got it looking in 2022 format, like you told me, we need to polish up my book, then we probably got a winner.
Yeah, you gotta polish up that cover, man. I want a new looking cover, 2023, baby.
So now I have a question. I'm going to get one free consultant question for my own selfish reasons. So y'all have to excuse me. So I think I told you I'm NIL certified, and since the NIL is brand new, and since I've been doing financial education for 20 years and work with a lot of professional athletes and high school athletes on the baseball side, what would be a great idea for me to send a package of books to an AD, or do I send it to the agents that's representing the NIL contracts for the client? Which would be my better route to take in your humble but expert opinion?
I'm saying don't go cheap. If you're going to go cheap, go home. Send them to both.
Oh, wow.
It's $5 a book, babe. What are you going to go? Oh man, I don't want to spend $20 extra to send it to the agent. I'm just going to send it to both.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we're going to work on that together. We definitely going to do that, man. I'm loving it. So we're actually going to have you out in our master class, and you're going to be giving some inside training to our exclusive All-Star and executive members. And thank you for volunteering to do that with us on this upcoming Wednesday. So give our people a little bit of a teaser, a little preview of what they can expect on this upcoming Wednesday and why they should be in class with us just to hear your expertise training.
So on Wednesday, I'm really going to do a deep dive. You got a little bit of a taste of how to write a book. So I'm going to go a deep dive and really get you kick-started on writing your book and getting it started. I'm going to really go into being a bestseller and what it takes in the back end of being a bestseller, the secrets, some of the secrets that we do to make you a bestseller. And we have a special gift and a special offer for you. And I don't know if I can give a little freebie tonight. I've got
absolutely. Please do. We like free stuff. We like free stuff.
Yeah, I like free stuff too. I'll put it in the chat and then you can give it up. So this is our book, How to Write Your Story of Success. So this has a bunch of questions. Remember we were saying like you need those prompts, right? I need to trigger me. So there's like 30 questions in there to get you triggered about your story of success. And then there's some key tips on how to get your book started and things like that. So I'd love to get that to everyone who wants one. And we're going to do a deep dive and you're going to feel confident about starting your book. You're going to get your book started if you choose to follow the process that I'm going to teach on Wednesday as well.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Well, you know what? I know, Melanie, it's Friday night and we probably overexceeded our time with you on a beautiful Friday night. So I want to ask you to tell our people how to get in contact with you.
Yep.
And, what are you working on immediately? You already told us you got a launch for a Wall Street Journal, but any other projects that you would like to share with our audience that actually they should be, aware of that they can actually participate or catch you in the next 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah. So we've got Dre's launch coming up December 4th. We've got 2 other book launches. We've got one coming up with I can't think of his name now. Jim. I'll think of his name. It's going to come to me. Anyways, he is the voice of University of Michigan football. So he's been the voice for years and years. So I don't know why I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It's gonna come.
I know who you're talking about because I've been to several University of Michigan football games, and it's so funny. We have so much in common that it's ridiculous. I'm actually doing a proposal for the University of Michigan student athletes right now for the NIL financial education program.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Imagine
Jim Brandstetter. That's his name, Jim Brandstetter. So Jim has interviewed, he has all these interviews he did, audio over the years with all these football legends, great University of Michigan, but in general, professional athletes, all of this stuff. So he wanted to make an audio book out of it. So we told him, well, you have to do a paperback too, because otherwise Amazon doesn't let you just do an audio book without a paperback.
Oh, okay.
So we had it all transcribed for him, which was a labor of love because it was a lot of videos that we transcribed. And so his book is launching. It's actually live now, but we haven't done the official launch of it. And that's coming out, I believe, this coming week. So Jim Brandstetter, see, you know him. You know his voice for sure. It's been fun working with him. He's such a great guy.
Man, that is awesome. So, with that said, give us 3 parting tips, and then we're gonna thank you for your time for coming out, and then we're gonna see you on Wednesday, and then we're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna come back and close out our show and let you get on with your wonderful weekend. What would be 3 parting tips that you would give for a new professional, a medium professional, and an expert professional that they should be doing right now that could add a little extra, income and stability, and also giving them more exposure that they may not know? Just like you did for me with my book, which I just had no clue that
Yeah.
Amazon works that way.
Well, I'm going to give some wisdom for part of it. I would say one thing my dad used to always tell me, for those entrepreneurs that you feel like, everything went wrong, I didn't make any money this week or this month, this too shall pass. So it comes in waves. Don't get discouraged. Just know that it's going to pass, whatever went wrong. Also, when anything goes wrong in business, I always say, I stop us and say, what did we learn from this? How can we make a process or procedure out of it? How can we make sure it doesn't happen next time so we can serve our clients even better? Whether, even if you're in real estate, there's going to be things that go upside down that didn't happen the way you wanted to. So how do you turn it into a learning experience and make it better for next time? Then it just elevated you all together, that you're more knowledgeable and you've gotten more processes and systems down. So those are the 2 things. And remember, it's always about knowledge and learning. Don't ever stop learning and creating and getting knowledge. When you stop and you think you know it all, that's when you're going to start to lose. If you're not growing, you're really dying. So in business, if you're always growing and learning, and then you're ready to pivot.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had the pleasure for the last 30, 40 minutes to actually have the amazing Melanie Johnson, the CEO and founder at Elite Online Publishing, to share her story with us. And you have to catch her in our exclusive masterclass on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 Eastern Time. And she's going to do a deep dive and actually how the back office stuff works that actually creates a sustainable passive income in multiple streams, not only from that, but also real estate as well. So, Melanie, we appreciate you coming out, and we look forward to having you on Wednesday in our master class. And we thank you for giving us those last 3 tips. This too will pass. Make sure that you tweak things, and then just make sure that I would say, be humble in your success as well, if that makes sense. Because sometimes we get big headed, and I've had that experience personally, because nobody's perfect. And we always have to know that, hey, God blesses those with humility, that have grace and patience for other people that are less fortunate. So, Melanie, thank you for coming on the show tonight, and I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And have a blessed weekend, okay?
You too. Thank you very much. It was an honor to be here. Thank you.
Ours too. Thanks a lot.
Take
Hey,
care.
guys, we're going to go to the break, and we're going to come back. Tajir and I, we're going to wrap up, and we're going to give our summary. And we guys will see you guys in about 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I love Elite Online Publishing. The process has been so easy, and I've written books before, but this book is going to be by far my best book. They just make the process so easy. I love VIP day. I had no idea what to expect, and they kept telling me it was going to be kind of long and grueling. It actually wasn't. It was like super fun. It was like talking with your girlfriends, and all the attention was on you. So it just made you feel so special. And then after the VIP, I got this great outline for my book, and I just was shocked that it was just so, I don't know, I guess I thought I was starting from a blank page, but they just had it all in there. And it's just it was almost like they took what I said and put it in book form, and then it just gave me the space to do what I wanted and change it around, but you weren't starting from a blank page. So that was fabulous about it. The other thing I love is I love the coaching. I love my coach, Anita. She's just fabulous. We laugh, we have a great time, and we talk about ideas, and she tells me what she thinks will work and what won't work. And we've been able to change things around that we didn't like. It's just been, and the process has been so fun. I just never thought it'd be so fun. And it's just been a fun process. I really thought I'd be grueling, and it just has not been. It's been amazing. So I love Elite Online Publishing.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth. It's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show.
This is DJ the Money Coach, back on the Classic Climb for a Black Friday special. That's right. I'm going to give you an exclusive masterclass that will show you how to earn $8,333 a month in passive income. I'm going to teach you how to acquire residential property, multi-units, invest in luxury resorts, and acquire other businesses with other people's money. I'll show you how to go from $0 to $100,000 in interest-free business credit for a Black Friday special, an exclusive one-on-one training with me and our master class, one time only, for less than $100 bill. That's right. Hit that link. I'll see you in the Black Friday special master class.
And we are back.
All right, welcome back. So, man, we have had a tremendous show tonight. Family Finance Friday with DJ the Money Coach. Tonight's topic is recession-proof your business with elite online publishing. You guys just saw an amazing, successful entrepreneur, Miss Melanie Johnson. She not only was successful in corporate America, she was very successful in the real estate world. She actually was the predecessor to Airbnb, creating a huge, beautiful 25,000 square foot mansion that she received $16,000 a week for, then a lakefront home, and then she transitioned into online publishing, which there's a tip, guys, to be a successful entrepreneur. You have to have the ability to pivot at any given time because God has blessed you with so many talents and so many skills. You're really a Renaissance person. So what we want to end up this last 5-10 minutes is just explaining to you guys how important cash flow is in a recession. Okay. So real quickly, what you're going to find out is that right now your income may be impacted, but the cash flow just continues to grow. And like I said before, when interest rates go up, mortgage rates go up, and hyperinflation, guess what goes up in direct correlation? Rents do. So if you have bought, yourself first investment property a couple of years ago, you have seen like a 30-40% increase in the rent. And if you're just starting out as a person that may only have access to $1,000, $5,000, you can actually create cooperative economics in your network and inside of your ecosystem. You can actually parlay that money with a couple of other professionals and acquire your first asset. It can be a mobile home for as little as $15,000. It could be a residential property for as little as $30,000, $40,000. But the most important piece is that those acquisitions, cash flows, will be anywhere between $500 to $1,000. How do I know? Because we've been doing this for 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. We actually, and it's another thing, we had an affinity that Melanie doesn't know. I've actually been in the Detroit market since 2016, and we collectively, as a group, ladies and gentlemen, we own, operate, and manage over 350 properties in the Detroit metropolitan area, all owned cash free. And all of those properties make anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a month. But here's the thing. We started doing that back in 2006. So we have a saying, crawl, walk, run. So what we're going to show you in the master class that's coming up on Wednesday exclusively, we're going to show you how to actually acquire residential property. We're going to show you how to acquire mobile home property. We're going to show you how to acquire multi-units. And then we're going to show you, if you're at that level, how to actually build actual resorts. That's right. So if you are really intrigued and you are really trying to understand, hey, you know what, DJ, I make $150,000 a year and the recession is really taxing everything that I have right now. How do I get into that passive cash flow track? We're going to meet you right there. First things first, we're going to do an assessment. And that assessment is going to tell us what type of investor you are. Because if you're not an accredited investor and a sophisticated investor, just like, Melanie, there's only 5, categories that you are, entitled to or qualified by the Security Exchange Commission. So the first one is conservative. The second one is income. The third one is moderate. The fourth one is growth. And the last one is aggressive. But legally, we have to discern which one you are. Once we figure that out, we can tell what your calculated risk is. What do I mean by that? If you only had $1,000 that you had to invest, but if it didn't work out well, because that's the risk, no reward, and you lost that $1,000, you would not have your regular lifestyle affected in any capacity. So that's the first thing that we're going to do for you. Okay. Once we establish that, we're then going to show you 7 different hard asset classes that you can actually start to build cash flow in the next 30 days. So what I'm telling you is that within the next 30 days from this master class, we're going to show you how by the first quarter, you will have passive income coming in, albeit if it's only $200 a month or if it's $2,000 a month, you will be able to build it over time in what we call 2 to 5 years and actually create $8,333 a month in passive income by number 1, establishing a business. Number 2, taking that top line dollar and acquiring assets. And number 3, leveraging the tax laws through what's called CAFE Rule 125, which is an IRS code, and we can start parlaying you into the cash flow model and actually start becoming recession proof. And we have a little model in 2 to 5 years. If you can acquire 2 hard assets per year that generate $1,000 a month in income, do that for 5 years. That's 2 times 5. That's 2 times 5 is 10 properties that will give you $10,000 a month in passive income. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'll give you 3 guests, and the first 2 don't count. I can guarantee that we can help you do that if you're willing to do what I call the 4x4. So Tajir, put this up, the 4x4. So number 1, I want you to write it on the thing for us, Tajir. Type it in. So the first one is discipline. The second one is you have to have accountability to a system. So just like Melanie told us in Elite Online Publishing, there's a system to actually become a number 1 bestseller on Amazon, Wall Street Journal, and internationally that she has perfected with her partner Jen, and she's going to teach us how to do that in our master class. So that's accountability. Number 3, you have to plug into the 7 spheres of money system. That's right. The number 1 system for middle class Americans who have entry-level professional income, make $50,000 and up to $250,000 a year. We are the number 1 training format for middle class Americans. We're going to teach you how to plug into the 7 spheres of money. And then number 4, you got to put your head down and go to work 2 to 5 years, not 2 to 5 days, not 2 to 5 weeks, not 2 to 5 months. It's 2 to 5 years. We did not build a portfolio of 350 properties overnight. We actually started building that back in 2006, and we acquired 2.6 properties per year for the last 16 years that equated to 350. You see what I'm saying? So last year, this time, back in October or September of 2021, we did a podcast that talked about the winter is here. A lot of you didn't believe us. Now it's here. If you have your health, we can actually help you over the next 30 days, get you onboarded to a year later, you'll have some significant passive income because you followed the system. Now, the next 4x4 is really important. These are the intangibles. And these are some of the things that Melanie was talking about were really is intestinal fortitude. Like she said, hey, this too will pass. Because as an entrepreneur, as a professional, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. So the first one is professionalism. What does that mean? That means speak the King's English. I'm not necessarily talking about English, the language, but if I'm in the publishing business, I have to know the jargon that is akin to that industry. Okay. I also, Melanie told me she had a short period of time to loan us tonight to be a guest on our show. So I have to respect her time. We got her in at 6:30. She was already in queue at 6:15, 15 minutes ahead. So we can go right into today's show at 6:30. And we promised to get her out at the time she said she needed to be out. And we got her out. That's professionalism. So that's number 1 P of the 4 Ps. The second P is persistent with consistency, following your plan. Be persistent with consistency to follow your plan. Okay. The third P is the real one for the big boys and the big girls. That's perseverance. And perseverance basically means when there's hard times, time will soon pass. Just like Melanie said. So you have to have the ability to actually endure with it and keep moving forward, because that separates the girls from the women and the men from the boys. Because it's not necessarily your talent or your skill set to give you success. It's the ability to keep picking yourself off the mat, dust yourself off, and turn yourself around and get right back on the pathway. So the last P is performance, okay, or production. That means in a sliver, you have to have your ability to tell your story in 30 to 60 seconds and then produce. And I'll make it just as simple. Melanie and I just met a few weeks ago, and she's a very successful entrepreneur, and she was introduced to me. I was introduced to her, and I was able to tell her my 30-second story. It resonated with her. She told me hers. It resonated with me, and we found mutual ground that could be beneficial for, number one, you as our audience, number two, for her, and number three, for us. So there was a win-win-win. So what you're going to find out is that what we call the 4x4, the 4 dirty little words: discipline, accountability, plug into the 7 spheres of money system, do the work, professionalism, persistence, perseverance, and performance is the key to success. And this will get you out of a recession and get you onboarded into hard assets that will generate cash flow. So that is the moral of the story. The turtle or the tortoise always beats the hare, because the hare gets out of the gate fast and burns out, and the tortoise just methodically hits every post. So that's what it's about, ladies and gentlemen. So we're excited. We hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Remember, you need to subscribe, share, and like. And most importantly, if you're really looking for a way to edge up and get yourself level above the fray and be recession proof in 2023, be consumer debt free, and actually be financially independent like we are, and you really want to embrace that pom-pom lifestyle, plenty of money, peace of mind, and you want to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club, guess what you got to do first? You got to come to the master class. That's right. Invest a few shekels, because here's what I can tell you statistically is that what's the biggest holiday retail coming up? It's called Black Friday, right? You know why it's called Black Friday? Because that's a term in accounting that when you're in the black, you're profitable. When you're in the red, you're losing. So all retailers, they make about 87% of their core profits on one weekend, which is coming up next Friday. So what they know statistically and scientifically, just like the system that Melanie created, Elite Online Publishing, they know your psychological profile. And they're going to tell you, if you make $50,000 a year, you're going to spend $300 next weekend. If you make $100,000 a year and above, you're going to spend $1,000. Why? Because you're being bombarded with millions of commercials on all different mediums. So what we know is if you're going to invest and promote a movie or some new shoes or a vacation, why not invest in yourself? Only makes sense. And on top of that, Tajir, tell them what we're doing for our youth all-stars and how we're going to blow that up for our young people age 7 to 18. So tell them about that and pull up that link, Tajir, and then we're going to get out of here.
Of course. So for our young folks, we have our Young All-Stars Financial Academy. And this is where we're going over the big 4 in terms of financial literacy. Money.
Hey, pull that up for us if you can so they can see it while you're talking. Because you know what? A picture is worth 1,000 words. A video is worth 1,000,000. And talking is only worth 10.
Right.
So we're going to use all 3 of them collectively and make it dynamite, because the most important people are our children and our children's children. So pull that up, Tajir, and also explain to them what this program is about. And we got an awesome program to offer you guys so that you can help your children be successful more than you are.
So we have our Young All-Stars Financial Academy. Got the Junior All-Stars for children ages 7 to 11, the Young All-Stars for teens ages 12 to 18. So this is where we're going over the big 4 with them. We're going over money, personal finance, business, and entrepreneurship. These are the big 4 that are going to set them apart to get them to compete on a high level with the Ivy League grads, with the private school grads, having all of the same tools, if not more than they'd have, and be able to win the money game. When you talk about equalizing, you talk about equalizing opportunity and making it so that our kids win, and we can create these economies of scale that we keep seeing, so we can have that dollar keep flowing through the community several times. This is the answer. This is the program. The Junior All-Stars meet every second and fourth Saturday a month via Zoom. The Young Gold Stars meet every first and third Saturday month via Zoom. And they go over a lot of things. Go over our 4 envelopes program with them, right? You got $100. You invest 50, save 30, give 10 to charity, and spend 10. We go over cash flow for kids with them. We teach them how to manage their monthly expenses and bring up their passive cash flow so they win a rat race. Dividend stocks, entrepreneurship. This is the winning formula here. When we're talking about getting our kids to where they need to go and keeping them on top, this is the winning formula right here. And DJ.
Yes. So guys and gals, you heard it. So the more of the story here is to plant your seeds now. So when you don't need them, you'll have them when you do need them. Okay. So there's a saying, you have to do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. So again, going back to reference the last time we did a podcast on the winter is coming, which was either October or September of 2021. People didn't believe us. It's now here. But guess what? We knew it was coming because I've been in this industry for 20 years. I was around when the Great Recession happened in 2008 to 2010. We made it through it and we doubled our business. As you also saw, our guest, Melanie, said she pivoted during that time and she went into the television, ownership business. Then she pivoted again into the elite online publishing, and she's at the top of the game in all industries because she's a true entrepreneur and she has vision. Another thing you realize that she did very well is that she came from a family of entrepreneurs. So she was taught what I call the Steph Curry rule. Okay, that's what this means. The Steph Curry dad, Bill Curry, was already a successful NBA sharpshooter. And when his children were born and they were 6, 7, 8 years of age, he put them around professional athletes. So they were they were conditioned and they were used to and comfortable being around professional athletes. So there was no intimidation. Thus, they had that superior confidence that most people lack. That's no reason and no mistake that Steph Curry became the #1 best three-point shooter in the history of the game. So if you can put yourself in conducive environments, increase your confidence, and know that you can continue to move forward and challenging times come, but they will pass, you too can be successful. So that's what we're going to show you here in this exclusive master class on Wednesday. We're going to teach you how to, again, get your consumer debt under control and become totally consumer debt free. We're going to show you the foundation to do that in 30 days. We're going to show you how to build up to an 800 credit score. That 800 credit score is going to put you in position to actually get business credit interest free for 18 months. That's right. We're going to show you how to build the foundation in 30 days. We're not going to do it for you, but we're going to show you how it's done. And if you apply the rules and follow the blueprint of the successful system, you can have it too. And then once you build those business credit lines with other people's money, we're going to show you how to access right now real estate, residential, multi-units. We're going to show you how to invest in resorts, and most importantly, buy and acquire other businesses, which is called deal flow. Right now, there's people who are looking to sell their businesses that are profitable businesses that they may have owned for 20, 30 years. There's actual real estate property that people have actually taken all the tax depreciation and they've owned it for 20, 30 years and they're ready to exit strategy. And if you have put the business credit together, you put the system together, you can acquire these assets in a recession and you can actually live the pom-pom lifestyle. But the first thing you have to do is you got to make that investment in yourself. And what we're doing right now, immediately tonight, we're offering you a Black Friday special in advance. That's right. So we're going to give you 2 master classes, 2 consultations, 1 with myself, 1 with our experts, may even be Melanie Johnson. Might be one of the people that can get that first book out of you and help you make thousands and thousands of dollars. Man, imagine that. Maybe our, investors on the multi-unit side, maybe our attorney on intellectual property side. It may be our CPA, an absolute complimentary consultation. So you're going to get 2 classes, 2 complimentary consultations. This is in corporate America that we charge over $2,700 for. You're going to get it right now tonight for the first 20 people for less than one of these. That's right. For less than a Ben Franklin, You'll get the Black Friday special right now if you see value in being recession proof through cash flow, systems, and leverage. And our masterclass has been #1 rated by Chase Bank in corporate America over the past 6 months. So what more can you ask for? So I'm excited. You're excited. It's a win-win-win for everybody. And again, we want to thank our guests for coming out, Melanie Johnson of Elite Online Publishing. And man, women and men, you don't want to miss her in the exclusive masterclass training that she's going to give. If you got a book in you and you've been thinking about it, you're going to get that. It's worth the admission just for that alone, in addition to the other things that we're going to provide for you. So I've had a great time. We're also, you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw in, for the first 10 people who have children aged 7 to 18, we're going to throw in our last 2 classes of our financial education youth program of 2022, absolutely free. But you got to do it tonight. So, Tajir, with that saying, hey, let's tell them about the P.O.M lifestyle. It's plenty of money.
Peace of mind.
Come join us on the beaches of the World Club. Tonight's beach was online publishing with Elite Online Publishing with Melanie Johnson. And tomorrow's beach is, as always, it's Zanzibar, baby. Come join us. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Show some more videos from our sponsors. And then, as in the comments, you have the Black Friday special. We'll be all set.
Investment course. It's amazing. With that help, I made my own stock portfolio. I love it. Now it's making me money. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. What are you waiting for? Just do it.
This is DJ the Money Coach, back on the Classic Climb for a Black Friday special. That's right. I'm going to give you an exclusive master class that will show you how to earn $8,333 a month in passive income. I'm going to teach you how to acquire residential property, multi-units, invest in luxury resorts, and acquire other businesses with other people's money. I'll show you how to go from $0 to $100,000 in interest-free business credit for a Black Friday special, an exclusive one-on-one training with me and our master class, one time only, for less than $100 bill. That's right. Hit that link, I'll see you in the Black Friday special. Master class.